traumatized for life, and I need to be compensated. Period.
Hi everyone, it's Greyson, and this is Greyson Talks Everything. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and if you're not and you are returning, welcome back. Do be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also follow me on Instagram so you never miss any of the latest updates on when videos of mine are coming out. And to just like and admire some art that I regularly post on there. Some of that should be showing up on the screen right now. Alright, let's get into it. And also, before we move on, the link to my Instagram is always in my description. But if you want to know my Instagram tag right now so you can follow me immediately, that should be showing up on the screen as well. Alright, let's get into it. So today is another late video. Today I'm going to be reviewing and breaking down with spoilers Marvel's What If episode 6, which is What If Killmonger rescued Tony Stark, which was an interesting episode, and we break it down in this video right here. But yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, I'm not really that upset about these coming out late because I don't feel like What If is that like important and need to be talked about as much as the other Marvel shows, because those garnered like a lot of attention. But yeah, let's get into it. So in my opinion, this episode was odd, to say the least. I mean, I liked it, but I think this was the episode that really showed the cracks in the show. At some times, the animation seemed a little off to me, and Michael B. Jordan's voice acting was a little weird as well. And you can really sense the absence of RDJ and Gwyneth Paltrow, because the voice actors here do okay impressions, but sometimes you could also tell that they just didn't pay enough for RDJ or Gwyneth Paltrow to come back, or they just didn't even want to come back at that point. Also, I will say, I'm kind of starting to sense that Wakanda, as it should, low-key, is taking a bigger role in MCU Phase 4, because not only are we getting an entire movie about the world of Wakanda after Chadwick Boseman's tragic death, but like Wakanda has been slowly been encroaching on like just the MCU as a whole, like from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and now this. At first, I thought this was supposed to be the Iron Man episode, but by the second act of this episode, I realized that this was actually a Black Panther episode. So that was a pleasant surprise. But I also will say that that not T'Challa, but Eric Killmonger, who was actually the real main character of this episode, was very well written, even though his like voice acting was not great. So yeah, Killmonger really did have a better, more thought out plan in this episode than he did in the entirety of the Black Panther movie, even though I absolutely love that movie. And the writing for Killmonger in this episode was actually really great and had some phenomenal lines, especially the one that said, "The difference between you and me is that you can't tell the difference between you and me." I mean, wow. If you didn't like gasp at that moment or at that line, you're just lying to yourself, because that was like, whoa. But yeah, I thought this episode was cool. It just, too many things just felt off for me. Yeah, I just didn't hate it. It was alright. Now let's break this episode down. One of the most intriguing concepts for What If just turned out to be a bit of a dud. Unlike Stark Industries' Jericho missile, the story of what happens if Killmonger saves Tony Stark in 2008's Iron Man isn't particularly explosive, but it does offer an interesting preview of what's to come in Marvel's movie sequel, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Did Marvel just reveal the identity of Wakanda's next hero in Black Panther 2? We'll just have to find out. And warning, spoilers ahead for What If Episode 6. The title sort of says it all. What if Killmonger saved Tony Stark? The answer, it turns out, isn't too different from the plot of Black Panther. The biggest change to this multiverse is that Tony never becomes Iron Man. Instead, after he's saved by Killmonger, he hires the trained assassin on the spot, and the unlikely duo works together to build an army of killer Gundam drones. What could go wrong? But that's not the important part of this episode. While Tony is building killer robots, Killmonger is carrying out a complex plot of his own that involves betraying everyone in sight and playing both sides of a conflict between Wakanda and the United States that he fabricates himself. In the end, he wins the trust of the Wakanda royal family, minus T'Challa, who he recently killed in this episode, which, on the side note, was a little weird considering like his recent passing to T'Challa's actor Chadwick Boseman. So that was like a little triggering, low key. And after killing T'Challa, Eric Killmonger becomes the new Black Panther. But that's not the end of the story. Just before the credits roll, we see Shuri pay a visit to Pepper Potts, and the two hatch a plan to take down Killmonger and expose his crimes. The biggest question heading into Black Panther Wakanda Forever is an obvious one. Who will succeed T'Challa? And before you ask, no, I'm not suggesting Marvel will bring back Killmonger and hand him the keys to Wakanda. Various leaks and rumors suggest that T'Challa's sister Shuri will be the one to take the throne, and What If seems to confirm her as T'Challa's likely successor. After all, Shuri is the only one capable of seeing through Killmonger's lies in What If. So whatever happens in Black Panther 2, she'll likely be able to just be best equipped to handle the threat as well. There's no denying that Shuri would make an excellent Black Panther due to the fact that Shuri actually did take up the mantle after T'Challa went missing in the comics for some time. We'll just have to see how it all pans out when Black Panther Wakanda Forever comes out later in 2022. Marvel's What If relies on the Watcher to act as the glue that holds its anthology format together. The character, voiced by Jeffrey Wright, is an all-knowing cosmic being who observes and guides us through the show's various alternate realities, essentially serving as What If's Rod Serling stand-in. He is a disengaged, wry narrator meant to remain an observer and nothing more. But it's becoming increasingly clear just how much the Watcher struggles to maintain that distance. As various tragedies and betrayals unfold in front of him, the character's desire to help those he's watching has become palpable. Now, the series' latest episode gives us reason to believe the Watcher may break his oath before What If's first season comes to a close. The Watcher's appearances in early episodes of What If were, for the most part, fairly subtle and easy to miss. Usually he was shown as a faceless silhouette standing in the background, sometimes even blending in with the scene's respective environment or locale. This was clearly a deliberate choice on the part of the What If creative team, one that made the Watcher feel more like a part of the universe than an actual inhabitant of it. That pattern has changed recently, with the Watcher's physical features shown more explicitly in recent episodes. Nowhere is that more apparent than in What If Episode 6, which shows the Watcher not as some faceless figure observing from afar, but as an easily distinguishable being looking on with disapproval as yet another timeline takes a dark turn. It's a subtle but effective visual trick, and it doesn't just make the Watcher's growing struggle with remaining an impartial cosmic observer explicitly clear, it also lays the groundwork for the character to become a more active in the multiverse sometime soon. In the final moments of What If Episode 4, a dark alternate reality version of Doctor Strange sees the Watcher observing his reality's destruction from afar and begs him for help. It's a major moment, the first time that a character in What If actually notices and addresses the Watcher, made more noteworthy by the fact that the Watcher actually responds to Strange. Propelling himself briefly into the crumbling reality, the Watcher tells Strange that not only can he not help him, but that he wouldn't even if he could. "I'm not a god, and neither are you," the Watcher says. "Honestly, if I could fix this, if I could punish you instead, I would, but I can't interfere." The scene marks the first time we actually get to see the Watcher as more than just a silhouette with glowing eyes. It's the moment at which the Watcher becomes a tangible, physical being. Ever since What If has leaned less on depicting him as some shady and indescribable specter. Instead, the series has brought the Watcher into the foreground more and more, making us aware of both his presence and of his growing desire to take more of an active role in the universes he's watching over. The implication is very much clear. Watching the destruction of Strange's universe marked an emotional shift in the Watcher, one that could very well lead him to intervening in a future episode, presumably the What If season finale, as many fans have previously speculated.
What If has made bold and unexpected moves across its first 6 episodes, some of which have proven more successful than others. But the show has done a consistently good job at both introducing the Watcher into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and communicating his thoughts and emotions, even with just a handful of lines and key narrative decisions. The show's treatment of the Watcher is especially clever in its 6th installment. The episode manages to use nothing more than the character's physical presentation to visually set up the major turning point in What If that has been building towards ever since its first episode. The moment when the Watcher finally decides to step up to the table and help the multiverse.
So that was my spoiler review and breakdown of What If Episode 6. What did you think? What did you think of the video? What did you think of the episode itself? Leave all your thoughts and comments down in the comment section. And again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and all that fun stuff you can do on YouTube to support me. And another way to support me again is to follow my Instagram and admire some art that I post there, and just always keep up when videos are coming out because all that information is being put on my Instagram. Alright, bye everyone.